going on.
Thank you so much.
Feel like $1 million.
Shout out TMZ, you up?
Let me check out that rig.
TMZ stands for the Mayweather Zone.
How'd you find me, bro? I got my disguise on.
I love my TMZ family.
Welcome to TMZ Sports. Babcock here. Travis Kelce and head coach Andy Reid once again getting into it on the football field during Sunday Night Football. This is not the first time that we have seen these two guys they're both Hall of Famers. They are both legends, player and coach, but they're both fiery. And we've seen these dudes not just argue on the football field, we have seen them literally bump into each other, make contact with each other, and just get in these super heated conversations, fights. I don't know how you want to describe it, Lucas, but again, it happens. We saw it happen last year. It happened during the Super Bowl. I think it was 2 years back now, and they're fiery and they're intense dudes.
Yeah.
It shows.
So this one happened about 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Okay. It was a close game at that point.
Chiefs win over the Giants, but yes, at the time it was about 6-0.
Yeah.
And Andy Reid happened to be the one this time to make a little contact with Travis Kelce. So Travis caught the ball for -2 yards,
right.
and then Butker goes out there to kick a field goal, and he misses it. So people were upset on the sidelines, and Andy Reid was waiting for Travis as he was making his way to the bench, and he gave him like a shoulder nudge, stood his ground, and Travis was, jawing. They were both back and forth talking and everything, but he kind of walked away from the situation instead of standing his ground.
Right.
But as we know about this relationship, they get heated, they express how they're feeling right in the moment, and Andy Reid actually kind of talked about it after the game, and he downplayed it.
Is that what he said? He wasn't too. I think if this was a rookie, if someone that didn't have the prestige of Travis Kelce, and you do that to the coach,
if it's a rookie,
problem.
You're gone.
Right. That's not going to happen. I think Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, those are probably the three guys on that football team that could get away with that.
Yeah. So let's listen to what Andy Reid said, and you can be the judge of that.
He's a passionate guy, and I love that part. So I've been through a lot of things with him, so that's all part of it. I love that he loves to play the game. That's what I love, and it's an emotional game. So I'll take it.
Mojo, what you buying that? Is that the explanation here? No problem. It happens. Heat of battle. We're all good.
Absolutely. Hell yeah, I'm buying this, Babcock. This is coaching right here.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people put in their heads that even though it's the NFL and this isn't college, coaching is just X's and O's. It's not. It's managing players, and every player is the same. If this would have happened with Patrick Mahomes or Chris Jones, to your point, maybe this is a different conversation. But that happened with Travis Kelce. That's the most hyped dude on that team. He's a team leader. He's a captain. He's fiery. Gets up in people's faces. He's jacked up. That's how you got to coach that guy, man. You can't just pull Travis Kelce aside and be like, hey, everything's going to be okay. You guys are going to – hell no. Bump into him. Shove him in his face. Get up in his face. Scream at him. That's probably how he feels. He needs to reach that guy. I mean, Travis Kelce said in the past, Andy Reid and I have a great relationship. That's what we do. We yell at each other, like this is part of coaching. So I love this. And obviously it seemed like it worked. You saw what happened last night. And, I'll go out here and say, I don't think this is the last we're going to see of this. Even if they continue to win, we're going to see this. Maybe they've identified this is how you get Travis Kelce hyped up on the sideline, especially one of the most important players on the team. You need that guy. If it works, stay with it. Keep at it. I love this kind of coaching. This is why we like Dan Campbell over with the Lions. He's fired up, man. It's contagious.
No, I think that's exactly right. And players are different. They're just like regular people do. You've got different personalities, right? So I think that a guy like Travis Kelce, that's how you get him fired up. He's like a rah-rah type of guy. And obviously, Andy Reid knows that. They've had a ton of success together at this point. So, I don't think this is an issue. Now, you may find or may have some sort of issue with Travis Kelce's play on the football field because, to me, he looks like a shell of himself at this point, Ed. I mean, he's not the same guy from what I see.
And they don't seem to have the same chemistry, right? You saw that Patrick Mahomes, when they tried to just link up, he sat in the zone, he sat like this, and the ball was 4 feet behind him. I don't know.
That would never happen in the past.
Where things went sideways with
I
them.
think it might. I'm not saying this just to say it or trying to bring up Taylor Swift's name. I think when you become like that, one of the biggest celebrities in the world overnight. It's something's got to give somewhere. Speaking of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift, this, I thought, was the best thing that the Giants did last night in the whole game. I mean, on the field, off the field. It was the Taylor cam, right? And the New York Giants kind of tricked the fans, tricked the people who were hoping to see Taylor Swift.
Faked out all of the Swifties. At some point, I believe it was in the first half, they had a camera that was placed behind a woman that looked like Taylor Swift. They called it Taylor Cam, and they played Welcome to New York. And what ensued is pretty hilarious. Watch.
So if you're younger, you're not familiar with that guy, that is, of course, Lawrence Taylor. He is the greatest football player to ever play for the New York Giants. He is one of the best football players ever, period. Probably the greatest, not probably, he's the greatest defensive player ever, period. And again, his name is Lawrence Taylor. So they weren't wrong. It was the Taylor cam. It just wasn't the Taylor Swift cam. It was the Lawrence Taylor cam. Best thing New York Giants did all last night, in my opinion. As we go to break, we want to remind you that the TMZ Sports show is now streaming daily. Come inside the newsroom and join the conversation. Check us out at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, weekdays on the TMZ and TMZ Sports X accounts and YouTube channels. But first, Tom Brady receiving backlash for a phrase he used during the broadcast of the Cowboys and Bears game on Sunday. We'll show you what he said and let you decide if it's a big deal. That's next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Tom Brady is in some hot water for something that he said last night or yesterday while he was on the call of the Dallas Cowboys game. Now, second week in a row, there's been a Tom Brady controversy. This one has to do with something that he said about animals. And a lot of people think that this has some animal cruelty vibes. So last night, the Cowboys playing the Bears, George Pickens drops a pass that is actually ultimately intercepted. Tom Brady then reacted to Pickens' frustration, slamming his helmet. And it's the words that he used that has a lot of people upset with him. Take a look.
Long arms. Man, Pick's not happy.
Yeah, those helmets can be. It's like the dog at home.
Time out on the field.
Wow. Kick the dog, throw the helmet, whatever it is.
So just like the dog at home, takes a little break, a little pause, and kick the dog, throw the helmet. A lot of people not very happy with this, thinking, hey, animal cruelty is not cool, not something to joke about. That's the conversation being had today at.
Yeah, he got slammed repeatedly online, so much so we actually reached out to PETA today to see if they had a comment, and of course they did. Yeah. They actually went softer on Tom than I think any instance of animal cruelty or any alleged
because they usually go in pretty hard.
Yeah, here, I'll read it to you. PETA knows Tom Brady to be kind to animals, so we were as confused as everyone else by his comment about, quote, kicking the dog at home. PETA encourages Brady to remember that millions of people listen to him, that the language we use can encourage kindness or violence towards animals, and that we should never normalize taking our frustration out on a beloved companion.
Okay.
So that was really it. They seem to have chalked it up to it being like a turn of phrase.
Right.
It is. It's an older expression that I'm taking it out on something that doesn't deserve it.
Right. So, don't get mad at me, Peter. They send a Christmas card to me here every year, like beating a dead horse or something like that. That is a phrase that many people use that they would rather people not. They've got all these different
It's so interesting that you say that, because as part of this statement about Tom, they released phrases they'd rather you use.
Okay, so
for beat a dead horse, they say feed a fed horse. Another one that is usually associated with stuff is kill two birds with one stone.
What do we say?
Feed two birds with one scone.
No, I can't.
And I'll give you one more. Bring home the bacon. Bring home the bagels. So they want you to avoid. I don't think anybody. Well, at least I hope. I don't think anybody really thought Tom was saying he goes home and kicks his dog. He's trying to turn the phrase, and they're saying, hey, look, we need to eliminate this vernacular
I
from our
still can understand, Mojo, people out there saying, hey, we don't like it. Just the idea of it, even though we know Tom's not doing that. I hope nobody thinks that he actually is going home and doing that. I don't think that's the case.
Well, just real quick before I go into that, can somebody send me that list of replacement sayings? Because I want to put it up right next to my computer so I have it always.
You got to make sure you don't mess up, Mojo. Yeah.
I think this was an accident. I don't think Tom meant for this to come off like that. I mean, you could kind of hear it in his voice. He didn't quite know what he was saying. He was trying to listen and hear what was going on, and he probably just mixed up a couple of thoughts in his head. At first, where I thought he was going is that he was throwing your helmet, smashing your helmet is kind of a bad thing as kicking your dog, because at least when I played football, throwing your helmet, taking that team logo, that team emblem, and chucking it across the field, slamming it on the ground, these were among the most disrespectful things that you could do. He would know more than most that you don't desecrate the helmet. So I thought that's where he was going with this. I still think that's probably where he meant to go with this, and it just came out wrong.
Coming up, Kyrie Irving says rehab is going incredibly well after tearing his ACL back in March. We'll hear from the 9-time NBA All-Star when TMZ Sports rolls on right after this. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Babcock here. Kyrie Irving, of course, the NBA All-Star, tore his ACL last season. It was just a disaster of a year for the Mavs, and that kind of really highlighted things. Just everything went wrong as they lose their future Hall of Fame point guard. Well, how is Kyrie Irving doing as he works to get back? Mavs hoping to have a lot better of a season this year. Well, last week we saw Kyrie out in New York City, and we asked for an update on the ACL injury, and sounds like it's going well.
So Kyrie, we wanted an update. How is healing going?
Incredibly well. I appreciate you asking me.
Of course. How has your regimen changed? Anything different?
Not really. Just a lot more rest time and recovering. That's important. Making sure I'm keeping as many distractions out of my life.
So there it is. He sounds like it's going, again, really well. That's exactly what he said. And, I would look for him, who, by the way, Kyrie, not young at this point. He's going to be 34 years old next season. Sounds like he's on schedule, and he will be back, and he's ready to go. And, again, they're hoping to have a much better year this year as they've got some pieces now with AD. And, obviously, you had the number 1 pick in the draft.
Yeah, and Kyrie is no stranger to injuries throughout his career, and that's really unfortunate. You do watch this clip, and there are a couple takeaways. For me, from my standpoint, Kyrie does not talk to us.
Yeah, he doesn't really talk to much of anybody.
Right, he's not a fan of the media. He doesn't like the idea of post-game interviews or things like that. Mm-hmm. He does like privacy, but here he is out in the middle of New York Fashion Week, mobbed by fans, and he takes the minute to talk to us and be like, look, I appreciate your question. Yeah. Things are going very well, and he seems to be in great spirits. So I think that's a major takeaway, that despite everything that's happened throughout his career, all these just bad obstacles that he's had to get over, he's excited for next season. Yeah. And like all those fans that are there, I mean, he has a collaboration with Anta, and that's a major shoe brand that he's had ever since his fallout with Nike. He is doing things on and off the court that I think he's thinking the future is looking very bright for him.
Right, and you could tell the fans out there was a lot of people out there, first of all, to see him. It seemed like he was happy to see everybody. He does. That was my takeaway, too. Like, he feels like he's in a really good place right now.
Taking pictures, signing autographs, all that. And that was stuff that he tended to avoid early in his career, even when he was Uncle Drew, even when he was on the Cavs and beloved and everything like that. Remember, he was a former number 1 overall pick, and he had the NBA in the palm of his hand at one point.
I'm excited to see. I'm actually looking forward to how they are this year. I think they're obviously going to have a much better season. If Anthony Davis is healthy, if Kyrie gets back in reasonable order here, and then you've got Cooper Flagg, what does that look like? I think as they're going to title.
As more time goes on and we've removed ourselves from the fact that they traded away Luka Doncic, and they get back to playing basketball, and you get rid of the fire Nico and, all the fans and all the outrage. I think when they get back to playing basketball, everyone's going to be okay when the Mavericks are fully healthy and they're competing.
Do you think there's a better chance that the Mavs have a better record than the Lakers this year?
I think there's a chance. The Lakers is always, the Lakers are my LA adopted team, but there's always so many question marks, and I think the way that we see the roster going into this season is not going to be what it looks like at the offense.
Yeah.
That's just the way I see it. So if they're good, great. If not, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Another reminder that TMZ Sports is now streaming live daily. Join the conversation weekdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific on the TMZ and TMZ Sports X accounts and YouTube channels. But first, the University of Central Florida trolls Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson after their blowout win on Saturday. The hilarious social media post is coming your way next on TMZ Sports. Welcome back to TMZ Sports. Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson once again got people on the internet going in on the couple last night, or yesterday, this weekend rather. The University of North Carolina football team is beaten up pretty badly, Ed. They lose 34-9 at the hands of UCF. You had fans trolling them, Ed. You had the school trolling that, everybody trolling Jordan here.
We'll get into the Knights trolling first.
Yeah.
So you remember a couple months ago, Jordan Hudson was doing beach acrobats with Bill Belichick, where he had her
I loved it.
In the air. Well, the Knights, I think we have it here,
there it is.
trolled him, trolled this whole scene by putting a W. And they, obviously you can see that. So that was that part of the equation. The other part of the equation was Jordan Hudson was seen on the sidelines of the game prior to the game, talking with Bill while the team was warming up. It wasn't one of those way early. You could see her right here. Look, the team is getting ready to play, and she's
not
whispering.
too far away from kickoff.
She's whispering in his ear. She's got mini skirt on, and she was blasted for this scene. I think probably because they went on to lose by almost 30 points. So she was torn up over this. The Knights were tearing them up over this. I mean, this was not a good weekend for Bill Belichick.
And Mojo, this is going to happen, right? I mean, it's just the reality of the situation. They are so famous. They're the most famous, couple in all of college sports, let's be honest. And when they lose, they're going to get trolled. TCU did it game 1. And it's going to happen again here now. If they win, they can hold these things off. They can stop this crap from happening. But if they lose, this is just going to be a weekly occurrence.
This is why many players, many people in the public eye try to walk the straight and narrow. You can't give people an excuse. And you compare current Bill Belichick to the Patriots coach of the year, coach of the decade, best coach of all time kind of Bill Belichick to the guy now. And it's just not the same dude. You would have never seen Bill Belichick doing all of these things, airing out his personal life before. Ever. You couldn't even get that guy to smile after a Super Bowl win half the time, So seeing all this stuff, he's just opening himself up right now, and that's what's happening. I mean, on the one side, he is going back to college football. It's a team he's never been a part of. I mean, can college kids really grasp the full scale of a team of X's and O's, of offenses, defenses Bill Belichick ran in the NFL? It might be too complex for them. There's a learning curve here. So you're going to stumble a bit, but a 2-2 start, a couple of blowout losses, especially when the beginning of the season is typically the part where teams stack easy wins. They're not playing very competitive teams, right? The goal is to start with 3-4 wins in the first four to propel yourself to an automatic bowl bid. We're just not getting a lot of that here. So it's gonna happen. He knows it's coming. Whether he's okay with this, whether it's Jordan Hudson kind of pushing him into this and kind of making him go down this path, I don't know what that looks like, but it's not great, Babe Cock.
Yeah, I think he definitely he appreciates her the way she weighs in. I think he likes bouncing things off of her. I don't think anyone's making Bill Belichick do things at the end of the day. Lucas, tell me what you think about this. I can't get worked up about her outfit. Who gives a crap what she's wearing? Like, people just want to hate on her, I think, at this point, as far as some of the things the fans are saying online.
I think so. And what it really comes down to is, what does Bill think? And, I was saying this earlier today. I honestly, truly feel at the root of this, if he thought this was a distraction or if it took anything away from their chances of winning,
I agree.
That she would not be seen at all at games. If she was that big of an issue. This is a guy who just, from the very start of his career until present, all he cared about was winning.
Right.
And
I don't think that's changed.
Not at all. And go to UNC to continue your career, especially after how legacy or legendary of a career you had, he wouldn't want to go somewhere just to have his legacy remembered like this.
Right.
And so I honestly feel like when she's on the sidelines and stuff, we have to remember that she does have a role within his life, professionally as well. So we don't know what this conversation was, but I'm sure it's not, I got reservations for
What are we having for dinner tonight? And tell me if I'm wrong here. I feel like we have seen, this is not the first relationship Bill Belichick's been in. I think we have also seen past girlfriends of his be on the sideline. So I think it's the age difference, and for some reason it drives a lot of people crazy.
She speaks her mind. She has, gone on social media and kind of like clapped back at haters and stuff. And, that's going to bring criticism. That's going to have,
But bottom line is, like Lucas said, is at the very worst in the conversation as being the greatest football coach of all time. I do not believe that he is going to wittingly do anything that could potentially tarnish his legacy. Bottom line is Bill Belichick wants to win. We are out of time, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.
I'm a lawyer.